The cameras were rolling, the Mediterranean sun was glowing, and everything about the set screamed luxury, chaos, and secrets, the perfect world of the White Lotus. Cast members were settling into their roles, scripts were being refined in real time, and anticipation for the next season was already building. Then, suddenly, something shifted. A quiet decision made behind the scenes sent ripples through the entire production. No dramatic announcement, no public fallout, just a sudden exit that left everyone stunned. Helena Bonham Carter, one of the most distinctive and fearless actresses of her generation, had walked away from the show. And just like that, one of the most talked about roles of the upcoming season vanished overnight. At first glance, it didn't make sense. Why would an actress known for bold, unconventional performances step away from a show that thrives on exactly that kind of energy? The series, created by Mike White, is famous for its layered characters, biting satire, and unpredictable storytelling. It felt like the perfect match for Bonham Carter's style. In fact, many fans believed she would elevate the show even further. So what went wrong? To understand this, you have to picture the environment of a production like The White Lotus. It's not just another TV show, it's a carefully crafted ecosystem where every character plays a specific role in the larger narrative puzzle. Every line, every gesture, every moment is designed to build tension and reveal deeper truths about privilege, identity, and human behavior. And in that kind of setting, even the smallest mismatch can create major problems. Bonham Carter had reportedly been cast as a faded celebrity, someone navigating the painful reality of losing relevance in a world obsessed with youth and fame. It's the kind of role that feels almost tailor-made for a show like this. Complex, emotional, slightly tragic, yet layered with dark humor. On paper, it was perfect, but once filming began, things started to feel off. Here's where the real story begins. Acting isn't just about delivering lines, it's about interpretation. Two incredibly talented artists can look at the same character and see completely different people, and that's exactly what happened here. Mike White had a very specific vision for the character, louder, more exaggerated, more outwardly chaotic. He wanted something bold and almost theatrical, a presence that would instantly command attention. But Bonham Carter, known for her unique and often eccentric approach, saw the character differently. Her strength has always been in subtlety mixed with unpredictability, creating performances that feel deeply personal rather than purely performative. And when those two visions collided, it created a tension that couldn't easily be resolved. Now, in many productions, this kind of disagreement might lead to compromises. Directors adjust, actors adapt, and somewhere in the middle, a new version of the character emerges. But this situation was different. The gap between the two interpretations wasn't small, it was fundamental. It wasn't about changing a few lines or tweaking a scene, it was about the core identity of the character itself. And then came the moment that changed everything. Just days into filming, Bonham Carter made the decision to step away. Think about that for a second. By this stage, production is already in full swing. Sets are built, schedules are locked, millions of dollars are in motion. Walking away at that point isn't just bold, it's almost unheard of. But instead of forcing the situation, both sides chose to part ways. And that decision speaks volumes. It shows a level of respect for the creative process that you don't always see in Hollywood. Rather than pushing forward with something that didn't feel right, they chose to stop, reset, and rethink. Of course, as soon as the news broke, speculation exploded. Was there drama on set? Personal conflicts? Clashes with other cast members? That's usually where these stories go. But interestingly, those rumors were quickly shut down. There were no reports of arguments or bad blood, no behind-the-scenes chaos. Just a simple, yet complicated truth, creative differences. And while that phrase gets thrown around a lot, in this case, it really does seem to be the full story. Two strong creative minds, each with a clear vision, simply couldn't align. What happened next made the situation even more intriguing. Instead of recasting the role with another actress and continuing as planned, the production made a much bigger decision. They scrapped the character entirely. That's right. The role Bonham Carter was meant to play didn't just get a new face, it was completely reworked out of the story. And in its place, a new character was introduced, played by Laura Dern. Not a replacement, but a reinvention. That kind of move doesn't just fix a problem, it reshapes the narrative. It means the story itself had to evolve, adapting to the absence of a character that was once considered essential. This also tells us something important about Mike White's approach as a creator. He's not interested in half measures. If something doesn't fit his vision, he'd rather rebuild than compromise. And while that can be risky, it's also part of what makes the White Lotus so distinctive. Now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. Bonham Carter's decision to leave might seem surprising, but in many ways, it aligns perfectly with her career. She's never been an actress who follows the expected path. From her early roles to her more eccentric performances, she's built a reputation on choosing projects that challenge her creatively. And when something doesn't feel right, she doesn't force it. That kind of artistic integrity is rare, especially in an industry where walking away from a major project can have serious consequences. But sometimes, stepping back is the most powerful decision an artist can make. And that's what makes the story so fascinating. It's not about drama or scandal, it's about the delicate balance of creativity. It's about what happens when vision and interpretation don't align. And it's about the courage to say no, even when everything says you should stay. As for the White Lotus, the show moves forward as it always does. Season after season, it reinvents itself, introducing new characters, new settings, and new layers of storytelling. This unexpected change might even make the upcoming season stronger, pushing the narrative in directions no one originally planned. But there will always be that lingering what if. What if Bonham Carter had stayed? What would her version of the character have looked like? How would it have changed the dynamic of the story? We'll never know. And maybe that's part of what makes this so compelling. Because sometimes the stories we don't see are just as powerful as the ones that make it to the screen. In the end, this isn't just a story about an actress leaving a show. It's a reminder of how fragile and complex the creative process really is. Behind every scene, every performance, every moment of storytelling, there are decisions, disagreements, and risks that shape what we ultimately see. And in this case, one quiet decision changed everything. So the next time you watch The White Lotus, remember this moment. Remember the role that almost was, the performance that never happened, and the choice that turned a behind-the-scenes challenge into one of the most talked about stories in Hollywood.